next presenter is someone you may recognize from the video at the beginning. He actually presented a few years ago, and his name is Rik Carlson. He's going to be presenting on the flying monkeys of Burlington, Vermont. So, Rik, welcome up.
Can you help me out?
Yeah.
Okay, am I there?
Okay.
Good. The first winged monkey appeared in Burlington in 1975, sculpted into the roofline of an historic building on the corner of Bank and St. Paul. He was positioned so that he begged discovery, crouched, ever vigilant, always on guard, and softly bathed in green light. An icon was born. The Emerald City of Oz was a waterbed store and a politically motivated gift boutique, actually known as a head shop. Waterbeds were wildly popular, and in that era, sales were up to 30% of the entire bedding industry. Emerald City was a cultural mecca. His maid emerged from the primordial soup behind a slate turret on the south side of the building. These two mythical creatures were sculpted in steel by Steve Larrabee, an artist with extraordinary talent. For the better part of 10 years, they stood their post in downtown Burlington. The head shop carried pipes and bongs and other lifestyle accoutrements that have reflected the social climate. Products were sold with a wink and a smile as we skirted legality. Here is a musician, Doug Pomeroy, a drummer, who ran the gift boutique. Waterbed manufacturers hosted conferences with hundreds of exhibitors and presented Aqua Awards for creative advertising campaigns. Emerald City won its first of 6 Aqua Awards, this time for the effects of a waterbed store on the skyline of a city. It was presented in a packed grand ballroom in Los Angeles. Here's our crew in the 70s, in this photograph by Fred G. Hill. Steve Larrabee is at the far right in the hat. On his right is Doug Pomeroy. I'm crouched up front. On the far left is Dan Doyle, Vicki Wood, Steve's brother Jack, and top right, UVM's Patrick Orr. There was a time when I was presented with a friendship quilt, and 20 friends each embroidered a square. They were all involved with the development of Emerald City, and it remains a truly humbling gift of which I am beyond proud. This is Steve Larrabee's embroidered square. In '93, one of the monkeys was stolen. Children were dismayed, and a pall fell across the land. Steve created his replacement, a female sculpted in copper, in heat, baying at the moon. Her little fingers grabbed the edge of the gable roof, and she screamed in silent delight. The stolen monkey was retrieved by police, but Emerald City closed due to illness. Flying monkeys circled the city in search of a new home. The copper goddess with a silent scream landed midst a patch of wild blackberries in Burlington's New North End, where she settled into the landscape. I was ill for a long time. The silver lining was Melinda Moulton, who with Lisa Steele developed the waterfront on Lake Champlain, and the first 2 flying monkeys relocated to Main Street Landing. The view coming down Main Street is fantastic. In the dark days of disease, Michael Thurston created an award-winning video with respect to being so terribly ill. In it, he said, Rik saw that the flying monkeys through the eyes of a child were his greatest endeavor. Michael's talent, friendship, and guidance has been a staple in my life for 50 years. In the winter of '04, magic filled the air, and the guardians of the clock tower were with child, lo. In August, Mama delivered twins. They built a nursery on the back of the train station and sequestered the protective mother with her children. Throughout the land, there was great joy. The copper goddess, still in heat, landed above the Performing Arts Center at Lakin College and also serves as a logo for the theaters. Her clarion call, well, but a whisper to us, pierces the primeval veil, and she lures a rogue male. The Rogue Lover is seen here in construction. Steve crafted a series of splendid creatures in copper from his Jericho studio. There's something special about the raw beauty of copper before he applied the weathered patina. I call this image assigning gender. Here, the Rogue Lover takes flight in the rain. This installation was no small task and was coordinated by property manager Joe Ryan and the talented team at Evergreen Roofing. Up, up and away, my little pretty. Are we having fun yet? Securely mounted, he lands on the cupola at Lakin College. Here he sets his eye on the object of his desire and casts an arc of sexual tension across the theater. If you have binoculars, you will see that indeed he is quite excited. Steve Cox, Hollywood author of 22 books on pop culture, traces the history of winged monkeys in a coffee table book to be published this year. This book will include a stunning array of original winged monkey artwork and will include Burlington's flighted simians. None of this would have happened without the vision of Melinda Moulton. Melinda was the CEO of Main Street Landing, and her focus and leadership coordinated everyone involved to create this diorama. She's an extraordinary patron of the arts, loves these creatures, and takes such joy as people respond. Steve Larrabee was not just a sculptor. He was a brilliant woodworker who built houses, crafted great rooms, furniture and guitars, carved in wood, made paintings, and brought people to life with watercolor. He loved watercolor. He was a loyal friend and was really quite funny. I remember laughter the most. In the dark of night and in the blink of an eye, the winged monkeys soar over the mountains and glide over the lake because, you see, fantasy is real. These winged monkeys are real, very, very real. Look at them, and if you don't believe me, ask a child. Ask any child. Savor that moment, share that joy.